This week features a special tournament arena starting on Wednesday. What's different and which teams should you play? You can gain up to 40 Armageddon supplies to shop with in the Armageddon shop. You can find an exhaustive look at the Armageddon event and what to buy there here. Those supplies are hidden 10 each in chest 1, 4, 7 and 10. This means 150 points are enough to get them all, but as always, getting to the 200 points is worth it, with a requisition and 100 energy awarded. Furthermore, you will be awarded Hellbrecht shards in this event instead of Calandus shards. 1 in each reward chest and between 3 to 30 for your final placement on the leaderboard. As always, you get 1 point per enemy defeated and 1 point for conquering an objective hex on the battlefield. The first player to reach 5 points wins and gets a bonus of 2 to 6 points on top of his 5 points depending on the rarity you played on. 7 points total on common and 1 more per rarity up to 11 points for players playing on legendary. Your units all get capped to the rarity bit you choose. Try to not use characters with underleveled abilities. As always in Faction Wars, you'll get 2 extra points in every fight you own all the characters of the faction you choose, while you still get 1 point extra if you unlocked 3 characters at least. You can borrow characters you don't own, but this will not only limit your points, but also see you fighting with underleveled characters in every cap but common. So avoid it if you don't just fight for fun or need to fight at common either way. With the 80-hour runtime of the mode, you'll be able to use 41 tokens. This means you only need 4.87 points per battle, 2 of which you get for just being there if you have a full team. And that doesn't even include that you can recover lost points with redemption matches for watching an ad. If you don't care about the final rank a lot, you can stop playing after 200 points basically at the cost of a few leaderboard rewards. Or just play and retreat on lower rarities to give some points to struggling beginner players, which I think most of them might appreciate. Let's look at the teams available. Fitting the fight for Armageddon, you can choose the Imperial side using the Ultramarines, Black Templars, Blood Angels and Astra Militarum. The Orcs get, well, the Orcs. And maybe for some Chaos representation at least, you can also play the World Eaters. No idea what they are doing here, they like to fight I guess. Let's look at the availability of the teams first, to see who we need to talk about first, but also to see who we'll face the most. This will of course depend on our rarity. Playing legendary most opponents will have multiple teams at their fingertips. All of them include at least 1 legendary character, making the Orcs the only team newer players will realistically have, as all of them unlock quite fast and the highest rarity here is epic. Tongue Smasher will be the hardest one to get here. The Black Templars could be available to a lot of advanced players, due to their availability in the Octarius campaign only leaving Hellbrecht open. The Ultramarines have Titus along the legendary Calgar, and the Astra Militarum have Trier alongside the legendary Creed. Those epic heroes are still hard to get for newer players. World Eaters and Blood Angels both don't have a campaign where you can get them, so will be the hardest to get teams, and while plenty of players will have unlocked a few new Blood Angels last week, 2 legendaries make this team the hardest to get. Every team gets summons here, even though they don't necessarily got them in the last normal tournament arena. I'm going to rate the teams by strength and mobility, and tell you which are my favorite. Strength is a combination of stats, abilities and traits, as well as summons of course, and mobility is especially important because of the objective hexes this time. Brute strength is only half the game. I averaged the stats of all characters this tournament arena and show you how the different teams fare compared to this average. This is only a guideline of course, especially traits and abilities influence strength as well. If you have a different opinion, please let me know in the comments. I don't play Tournament Arena for the leaderboard. I usually cycle through the different teams for fun. But I always make it to the end of the points track. The Orcs get 2 extra Orc boys this arena, which is excellent, as their grenades can do some spread damage and due to the orcs get stuck in trade, guaranteeing some extra hits when other orcs are next to the target. Their health and damage in melee is above average, but they struggle against armor as a team. The little range damage they have is also low pierce. Snotflogger's taunt and Gulgur's excellent summon / buff in his active ability are also strong assets. The extra movement after Gulgur's active helps the team to be where they want to be, and while enemies will try to stay out of the 4 hex range of this ability, they'll be hard pressed to do so as everyone has summons and they will rush forward. I give them a B for strength, with Gibber not being able to heal all of his allies and Snapper and Tank Smasher far from being optimal fighters. They get an A for movement though, with plenty of summons blocking objectives for enemies, Golgurt's buff and Tank Smasher's active, which can check off multiple objectives in one turn. Yes, all he traverses over count. Those are great and flexible. Before I continue with the other teams, please consider supporting me on YouTube and in-game. In-game, you can do so by using my referral code BAD60ADO and get 100 Blackstone in turn. It would tremendously help my video get noticed by the YouTube algorithm if you subscribe to my channel, liked the video, and maybe even hyped it or wrote a comment. Thank you all for your support. The Black Templars do have some strong units. All of their stats are at least average, with only their ranged attacks being a bit weaker. The buff ranges of Hellbreak's active and Zora's passive will need you to keep your team close together to make the most of them. And Hellbreak's passive only shines against 2 of the rarer teams you'll face. 2 Cadian Voxcasters add a lot of potential summons to the team, if the enemies don't go for them. Plentiful parry abilities and Burkhard's Gravis armor make them very hard to kill, especially up close. Ranged attacks will work best to remove a Brother Jäger, for example, who will often be parked on an objective and hit everyone trying to remove him. They can deal good damage and have good defenses in melee, but lack summons. Their pure strength in melee might be high, but their abilities have a harder time to shine, and there's far fewer summons, getting a C from me. Their flexibility is worse still, as they are the slowest faction here, and their only movement ability is God's Wills. Admittedly great, active that can snag you an objective while dealing great damage. It's a C-. The Ultramarines lack the most in stats compared to the others. This is remedied a bit by 3 heavy intercessors, which will especially give the orcs and other Ultramarines with their lacking pierced damage trouble. 2 more Gravis armor fighters and Kalgar and Varus ability to punish enemies bunching together with area of effect attacks are quite nice. The team doesn't work too well together, and if you stumble into a fight with enemies with decent range damage, Titus will die easily. Against the melee-only World Eaters, this makes him more valuable. Conquest is an especially fast mode, which makes Bellator only rarely get a good amount of summons. The heavy intercessors really help the team, earning a C- for strength. Movement-wise, there is nothing but Bellator having fly and move 4, and we even have a move 2 fighter inserters. That's a D. The Astra Militarum surprised me stats-wise. They might be defensively frail compared to the other factions, but are average in melee and pretty formidable with ranged attacks. They also get 2 Voxcasters, which are excellent in their hands with the synergy they have with Yarick and Creed, who either profit from the Voxcasters dying or utilize their guardsmen to maximum effect. Sybil might be weak, especially with no Overwatch to combat, but Trare and his summons can easily hold a line, and Yarick has excellent melee potential too. Thaddeus can afford to stand back in Conquest and hinder enemies' movement. It might be heresy, as they are weak characters here and this can easily go south, but I will give them a B- for strength for the army they bring and decent damage potential. Movement is harder again. There's no movement abilities here, but no slow fighters either, with Trare even actively being fast. It's a C- for as average as it gets. The World Eaters get 3 bloodletters, fueling their melee-focused Blessings of Khorne trait, dealing more damage for each melee kill this battle. Those will quickly mount with the amount of summons around. Stat-wise, they are really good, especially distinguishing them with their high pierce damage. Be sure to move all other fighters first and drop Rask into their midst to give everyone a shield. Try to attack with him first in later turns to get even more defenses up. This team has a huge potential to kill a few enemies and escalate to the 5 points fast. This comes at the expense of ranged attacks, giving them an A-. Those ranged attacks are mitigated a little by the extra move Khorne gets after killing an enemy. Rask's Deep Strike and 3 fighters with Rapid Assault, making them faster than they seem at first. There is however nothing that lets you take an enemy objective without killing them first, so I give them a B+. Lastly, the Blood Angels. A lot of them are a staple in normal tournament arena even, and we are back to full Blood Angels with Mephiston instead of God's Will. They might only get one Voxcaster, but did they even need that? With multiple fighters getting a second attack in their turn and slightly above average stats, they come in strong. Including their extra attack abilities would make them even stronger though, ironing out that below average seeming damage in melee. While in Conquest Arena they might not always be able to afford standing around Nico for a turn, if they do, their counterpunch will be extremely dangerous. He's also the only healer that can affect his whole team this tournament arena, and he does it passively while throwing punches. Strength-wise, it's an easy A. Now add their speed, 2 flyers at move 4 with Deep Strike, and everyone has their own extra movement through Rapid Assault, and some shenanigans like Mataneung throwing a wall of summons. The enemy might not consciously attack them, but they will still hinder movement, and Mephiston's active not only dealing damage, but also extending his own movement range. I'd also give them an A for movement. That's my assessments. Which team do you like best for Tournament Arena? Blood Angels seem really strong for me, which is a shame with their low availability, but a good showcase to get you to buy their shards in the Armageddon event, as they're actually really good in multiple modes. Orcs, however, are an easy place too for me, and the most accessible team, and can be quite dangerous in the right hands too, which I love. I wouldn't have needed the inclusion of the Ultramarines here, as they're clearly not meant as a beginner choice this time. The whole idea of an event-based and limited faction tournament arena really excites me though. It's thematically tied in and shakes up the meta at least a little. I like it. What are your thoughts? And for the tournament arena aces, let me know your best tricks and tell me what I missed. Thank you all for watching so far. I hope you liked this one. Have a great day, and you get plenty more videos from me very soon.